It's never, ever a good bet to bet against the American people.
1 year into the pandemic, President Biden addresses the nation. This as he also signed a relief bill today, sending more financial aid to Americans.
On March 22nd, we take one more step in beating the virus and reopening our economy.
And encouraging news today as Washington's governor announced the state will now be moving into phase 3 of the reopening plan. We have live team coverage to tell you everything you need to know.
I'm just so excited. I'm beyond excited.
Plus the emotion that parents are feeling now that spectators will soon be able to watch youth sports beyond the fence line.
And we are tracking more beautiful spring weather as we get closer to the weekend. Your 10-day outlook is next.
Today we have a boatload of good news. We will make progress today in increasing economic activity in our state. We'll make progress moving forward with more access to sporting events.
Breaking news this evening, news we have all been waiting for. Washington will soon move into phase 3 of reopening, meaning more capacity for restaurants and even the return of fans attending sporting events. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 News at 6. I'm Whitney Ward. The governor today said it is absolutely the result of hard work that we have all been doing over the last year. So we want to get straight to our political reporter, Casey Decker. He's been monitoring that announcement from the governor earlier this afternoon. Hi, Casey.
Well, hey, Whitney, for weeks, leaders here in Spokane and across the state have been asking, when will we get news about phase 3? We've been in phase 2 for a while now, and it didn't seem like we'd be moving forward really anytime soon. But in this sort of surprise announcement tonight, the governor saying it's time. Well, the reason, in part, this graph right here, you can see that spike around the holiday season with these numbers getting really out of control. But for the last few weeks here, we've really been getting numbers back into control. You can see in March, numbers as low as they've been since September. That was just one factor, though. Another, of course, the vaccine.
Look, the vaccine is the night and day situation. We now have a weapon at our disposal. 3 of these vaccines, they're 90-95% efficacious, preventing hospitalization and death. There is emerging evidence that they can prevent transmission as well. This is a game changer beyond all imagination. And again, I want to reiterate, it's a medical miracle that exists today.
So exactly what does this phase 3 look like? Here are the details that we have today. First off, nearly all venues can open up to 50% capacity with a maximum of 400 people. That means restaurants, movie theaters, and outdoor event centers can all begin to accept more customers. Big news for those businesses who were saying 25% just wasn't cutting it. And secondly, an exciting development for sports fans tonight. Large outdoor stadiums will soon be allowed to open. They can go up to 25% capacity, maxing out at 9,000 people. That means the Mariners' home opener will actually have fans in the stands. It could be great news as well for local teams like the Indians and the Shock. It should be also noted masks and distancing still required at all of these venues. All right, so when will all this actually happen? In just over a week, March 22nd. There is actually one exception for high school sports. Those can go to 25% capacity on March 18th. This plan also goes back to a county-by-county system rather than that regional approach that we've been on the last few months. Every 3 weeks, counties will be evaluated on key metrics. Those updates will be announced on Mondays of those weeks, and any phase changes will take effect those following Fridays. All right, so what are those metrics? Well, instead of 4 like we used to have, now there'll just be 2. You can see them here. It's new cases per capita and new hospitalizations per capita. If a county fails to meet both of those criteria, it'll get booted back to phase 2. If the next go around it meets the phase 3 criteria again, then it can go back. But this is the key here. Counties can only move up or down 1 phase at a time. So for instance, even if a county somehow fell into that phase 1 range, it wouldn't actually go all the way back to phase 1 right away. It would just go back to phase 2 at first. The numbers you see here are for larger counties like Spokane County, smaller counties like Ferry, Stevens. Those have a different set of thresholds. And there is one other emergency contingency plan here. If at any point statewide ICU occupancy exceeds 90%, all of Washington reverts to phase 1. But if we keep these numbers down, spring is starting to look much better for local businesses. Whitney.
All right, good information there, Casey. Thank you very much. In the meantime, moving to phase 3 here in Washington also means indoor and outdoor venues can hold 50% capacity. As Casey said, a maximum of 400 people. Now, this is great news, as well as some outdoor venues have had to cancel all of their events in 2020, but they say they are finally feeling more hopeful. KREM 2's Morgan Trow actually broke the news to staff at a local winery. Here is their reaction tonight.
Whitney, weddings are supposed to be one of the best days of your life, but couples have had to postpone and reschedule at Arbor Crest Winery due to COVID-19 restrictions. Now that we're moving into phase 3, these couples are getting some good news, and the winery says that dream weddings are still a possibility. Weddings are all about being with your loved ones and celebrating a union. Unfortunately, the pandemic halted plans, forcing some couples to compromise on their event.
We need to have more people and not the 25% capacity. That would make, even if we got to the 50%, that would be so much more, that would be wonderful and give us so much more ability to handle all of our private events and our weddings and our concerts, and we would be jumping for joy.
CEO Christina Milky Van Lobensels hadn't heard the news after it had just been announced. So we let her know that reopening is closer than she thinks.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, and 50% capacity for us, that's huge. It's good for us, it's good for the community. It's super important. So.
She said that the weddings at the venue are typically around 300 people, so having a max of 400 is perfect. She said she's overjoyed, but the people really benefiting from this expansion are the couples. Reporting at Arbor Crest, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Morgan, thank you. And today's announcement certainly welcome news for local restaurants. In less than 2 weeks, we know they can double the number of people that they are able to bring inside of their establishments. So right now we want to send things over to our Mark Hanrahan, who's anchoring from home tonight. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good evening, Whitney. Anchoring from home, almost like deja vu from a year ago today, my goodness. But certainly welcome news for business owners all across the state of Washington. This has been a really difficult year, especially for small businesses, as they just try to hold on and make it through this pandemic. So today's announcement, one step closer to getting back to normal, they say. Rima Shaver owns Bastango Martini Lounge in downtown Spokane. It's a pretty small space, so she's debated even reopening at 25% capacity because it would be tough for her to cover her operational costs with such a limited number of guests being allowed in. Today's announcement that they'll soon be able to expand to 50% capacity will have a real impact to their bottom line, and it will allow them to bring back another employee.
It was really hard. 25% was awful. I mean, it was hard having guests wait outside for a table in the cold, weather. And on rainy days, they just wouldn't wait or sit in the car. It was tough, but we got through it. And as I told you back then, I just got really tired of complaining. And I just said, we're just going to open. I was able to bring back 3 of my employees. So I'm very grateful for that. And with the 50%, I've already called my other employee. So I will be able to bring back 1 more employee.
While the last year has been especially tough on businesses like Rima, she says she is happy with our state and that they're doing well in terms of vaccinating people. Meantime, she said they're still continuing to push for 100% capacity. So she and along with other business owners will continue to advocate to reopen fully, they say. But for now, her business, other businesses, this is kind of like a little breathing room for them. So certainly some welcome news. All right, let's transition now and talk weather because, my goodness, what a beautiful day across the inland Northwest. Here at my home on the South Hill, the sun just starting to go down, getting dark outside. Meteorologist Tom Sherry joining us there in the studio. And Tom, please tell me we have more days like today in our near future.
I do, and I know I just heard, I'm out here on the back patio. I heard you just step out onto the front porch and yell for the kids to come on home. It's time for dinner. So I love that. So they're running home, right?
Right in that triangle.
Right in that triangle, exactly. Here we go. We were tracking mild to warm days through Saturday. Plenty of sunshine on tap. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s, even into the low 60s by the time Sunday rolls around. Let's get right to you at 44 degrees. That's your current temperature. Not much in the wind department. Clear skies. That's my observation also here from the back patio. We'll look for an overnight low of 29 degrees and sunshine tomorrow. Maybe a little patchy fog, but overall sunny skies. Look for a daytime high of 53 degrees. You know me, I'm always looking ahead to the weekend, and it looks fabulous. I've got mostly sunny skies for you on your Saturday with a high temperature of 57 degrees, and we'll see a few more clouds roll in on Sunday. Still pleasant though, actually very nice. We'll look for a daytime high of 61 degrees. I'll track the rest of your 10-day forecast, all coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. We like what we see so far. Looking forward to more. In the meantime, back to the big news of the day. Restaurants can now open to 50% here in just a matter of days. We talked with the president and CEO of the Washington Hospitality Association. We're going to have him live to talk about his thoughts and how businesses can benefit under these new restrictions. We'll be right back on KREM 2 News.